fail, they'll tell you, it's all right, you'll get it next time, or it's all part of the master plan. If you didn't get it this time, you weren't supposed to. Prep. When you've fallen flat on your face, disappointed everyone who was counting on you, and validated all the doubts of all those assholes who were hoping you would fail, you don't give a shit whether it's part of the plan, and you sure as shit don't feel confident that you're gonna get it next time. But here's the thing you have to remember, babe. Your wins and your losses, they do not define you. Your successes and your failures, they do not define you unless, of course, you let them. Because one of these days, you are going to be tempted to start selling pieces of yourself in exchange for success. And then you'll have to choose whether you want to be known for the size of your bank account or the size of your heart, whether you want to be remembered for the title on your business card or the title to your integrity. Failure will suck, but it's how you deal with the losses and the wins that will determine whether you enjoy the only kind of success that matters. I have some muffin, they just came out of the oven.
That love is patient and that love is kind. But the biggest lie you'll ever hear is that love is easy. One of these days, you're gonna fall in love. And I'll spare you the suspense. Your love will fuck up. The only way to love someone is to let them hurt you. And therefore, love is pain. Some days it will hurt so bad you'll wish you could sleep and never wake up. Bury your heart beneath a mountain of soft pillows. Love hurts, but just when you think that love is a lie, remember this. Patience is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. Love is a choice. You get to choose who receives that scarred, imperfect, tested, and ferocious heart. Even when it feels like you've lost all control, especially when it feels like you've lost all control. Love is hard, but love is powerful because you are powerful. And no one, not anyone in the entire fucking universe can ever take that from you, darling. Have some cake before the ice cream melts. Oh my god, this cake is amazing.
There'll be days when you feel all alone. It'll be like you're trapped inside of a very dark closet. Maybe you've just lost your job, or someone you cared about isn't in your life anymore. Or maybe someone you love is banging on the doors of your heart with his fists. It's so much easier to listen to the voices that are telling you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough. You might even feel tempted to agree with them, just to shut them up, just to stop the banging fists. But just when you feel like giving in to those voices, I want you to remember my voice. You are fierce. You are strong. You're a fighter. Even though it seems impossibly dark in that closet of yours, you're going to throw open that door. You're going to drown out those voices, and you are going to meet each and every fist with the thunder of your footsteps. Because joy is out there for those who fight for it. 곶감 하나 먹어. I always say, follow your heart, or the heart wants what the heart wants. But what they never tell you is that while the heart is strong, the heart can also be colossally stupid. Sometimes what the heart wants might not actually be any good for you. Your heart wants to wait around for them to text you, even though you haven't heard from them in weeks. Your heart wants to make up with them, even though they never really appreciated you and may have even abused you. Your heart wants to believe everything they say about you, even when you know they're not true, because it's so much easier to believe their version of you than to fight for your own. And that's the question you need to answer. Who are you fighting for? Are you fighting for what you want? Or are you fighting for who you are? Because here's the truth, babe. You are not defined by what you feel or what you fear or what you want. You are defined by what you do, in spite of what you want. 계란말이 먹어. Something really bad happens, someone will inevitably say, you need to toughen up. You're making too big a deal out of it. You'll start questioning yourself. Maybe things aren't as bad as they seem, or maybe I am blowing things out of proportion. The worst is when they ask you to forgive the person who hurt you, as if somehow they know the borders of your pain better than you do. But here's the thing, babe. No one gets to tell you how you should respond when it's your heart that's been injured. There's no such thing as crying too much or crying too little when you've lost someone precious to you, when you feel unsafe, when you feel targeted. You're allowed to cry over the little things, like a list of names. You're allowed to get angry when you feel invisible, and you're allowed to feel absolutely nothing at all when it's preferable to despair. Because you see, the people who are telling you to toughen up, they're actually trying to make you weak. They're trying to take away your power. So don't you let them. Don't you dare let them. Because the toughest thing you could ever do is to ignore their voices and listen to your own. 근데 떡 하나 먹어. It hurts. They say whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Don't listen to that shit. Sometimes the things that don't kill you
can actually make you weaker. Some hurts are so big you'd rather hide in a hole forever than ever get hurt again like that. You start second guessing yourself, you don't go outside because nobody gets you, you binge watch Netflix. Now, I'm not saying you have to forgive the ones who hurt you. No, fuck them. They don't deserve your forgiveness. But you know who does? The person who once loved them. The person who let them past the guardrails in the first place. You. Because here's the thing. You have a choice. You can let those betrayals cling to you, weigh you down, or you can peel them off. Because you are not their failures. You are not your heartbreak, and you are not defined by your pain. Even though your pain makes you weak, it's your choices that make you strong. 고구마 먹어.
Get dumped, they're going to say things like, he wasn't good enough for you anyway, he was stupid. This is a blessing in disguise. Let's cut through the bullshit. It sucks to lose somebody that you felt so connected to. You see, when you love someone, whether for 5 minutes or 5 years, they have the power to bring out the best in you. So when that person stops loving you, you're not just mourning the loss of that person, but you're mourning the loss of the person you used to be when they were with you. They say live your best life. But the truth is, we're all looking for that one person who lets us live our best self. You may feel wrung out and squeezed right now, but your grief is actually a testament to the thing that makes you so precious, your vulnerability. Now, love may bring out the best in you, but here's the thing, babe. The best in you has been in there all along, and it will be there when you finally find someone who's worth only the very best. 김밥 먹어.
Day, someone will betray you. Someone you trust will take everything they know about you and use that information to hurt you more than anyone else possibly could. They might sell your secrets to the highest bidder, use the intel to find the chink in your armor when you least expect it, or manipulate you into leaving yourself completely vulnerable to attack while they turn their backs on you. And when that happens, you'll understand the importance of loyalty. The importance of someone who stands by you when things are good and things are bad. The importance of the kind of person who will pull you up not only when you're down, but stand up for you when you can't get up. The kind of person who will be strong not just when it's easy or when they want to, but when it's hard because it's uncomfortable. Because there's no greater test to loyalty than standing by your side even when they'd rather turn around and walk away. So here's my question for you, babe. What kind of person are you? 오렌지 먹어. Say that time heals all wounds. They're lying. Some wounds will never, ever heal. Like when somebody dies, when one of your parents walks out the door and doesn't look back, when someone cheats on you, abandons you, or even violates you. You lie in bed for days, you won't pick up the phone, start asking yourself what you could have done different. Now, you can wait for time to heal you, or you can decide that you don't need to be healed. Because fuck them. If the wounds want to stick around, you tell them here today, stay. Because you're gonna find the courage to laugh again with the hurt. And you're gonna find the power to love again with the hurt. And one of these days, you're gonna realize they don't hurt so bad anymore. Not because time healed them or even because you healed them, but because you found the strength to live with them. And just like all those wounds that won't go away, the strength you found to bear them, that won't ever go away either. Have some focaccia. Parents are supposed to protect you, make you feel safe. But one day, probably earlier than you'd like, you're going to be asked to protect them. Is it fair? Probably not, but I'm not here to talk about what's fair. It'll start out with something small, like translating a letter from the bank, calling customer service for them. I'm not going to lie. You're going to resent them for putting you in that position. And maybe you don't have the best relationship with them to begin with. But here's the thing. Life has specifically equipped you for this challenge. Because right now, our ommas and our appas, our halmonis and our harabajis, they need us to brandish our English words like swords, to defend them in a way that they can't, in a way that only you can. So, take everything you've ever felt, everything you know about being different, about translating not just those letters, but the entire fucking world for them, and make them feel safe. Because they're counting on you. And so am I. Say that true love lasts forever. Wrong. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, if it didn't last forever, then it means it wasn't true love. Bullshit. The truth is, one day you're gonna give your trust to someone who doesn't deserve it. You're gonna hand over the most precious parts of yourself to someone who'll treat that gift like garbage. You'll wake up maybe years later and you'll realize that the person sleeping next to you doesn't deserve to do so anymore. Maybe never did. Does that mean that you never loved that person? That the act of giving yourself to them was a lie? Fuck no. Because the power and beauty of your love is not defined by how they choose to receive it, but if and how you choose to give it. If you decide it's time to say goodbye, it doesn't mean that you never loved them. It simply means you finally decided to love yourself more. Because here's the truth, babe. Out of all the loves in all the universe, the only one that must be forever is the one you have for yourself. 어서 먹어.
Once told me that if you truly love someone, they'll always love you back. What a load of shit. Someday, you're gonna fall head over heels for someone who thinks you're sort of whatever, may not even notice you. And one day, someone who's loved you will wake up and say, I don't love you anymore. In Korean, the heart is sometimes described as 찢어진. Feel like someone has split open your ribcage, reached in there, taken your heart out, and just ripped it to pieces. You'll spend hours staring into space, you'll refuse to shower or shower too much, start crying while brushing your teeth. That's what love actually looks like. But heartbreak, however much you hate it, and you will hate it, darling, it will force you to do something pretty remarkable. You'll pick up all those pieces and you'll stitch them back together until you're actually more beautiful than you were before. Because the heart is a muscle, babe. And like every other muscle in your body, it needs to be tested before it can become strong. Have some.